Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, Warner Brothers Discovery up for sale or maybe selling off Max. We got the full details of what's being reported there. Tubi is adding 8 new channels, mostly from A&E networks like Lifetime, History, and the A&E network, and Peacock's price hike. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, check out the show notes, and in the first pinned comment, I'll put a link to each story there, so you can read them for yourself. If you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people. We would really appreciate it. And with that said, let's dive into it. Warner Brothers Discovery has reportedly been looking at selling off Max, selling off its company, selling off different parts of it, spinning off different parts of itself into different organizations and more. If you're a little confused, don't worry, it is. Okay. Basically what's happening here is there's been reports that Warner Bros. Discovery has been actively looking at its options, like most businesses do. Some of the big ones that are kind of coming up is, do we spin off Max, for example, into an independent company owned by Warner Bros. Discovery but without the debt? And like keep the studios and the other Warner Bros. Discovery assets as a different company. Very similar to what AT&T's done in the past with different aspects of itself. Now, a few things here. These are just talks. There is an analyst from Bank of America who's heavily pushing for it. Jessica, I apologize, I will probably butcher your last name being dyslexic like I am, but she's an analyst with Bank of America, and she has pushed this idea. Reportedly, according to some sources, talks have already been happening for a few things. A potential merger of Max. Now, we heard recently that Paramount was talking to them about merging Max and Paramount Plus. That would likely see Max spun off into an independent company, joint owned by Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery. With that, so that's a possibility. Selling off other assets as a possibility too. So the Warner Bros. Discovery could look at their list and say, we want some money, we're going to sell off a few things. And lastly, even if they don't get a partner, spinning off Max from its studios, keeping the debt with the studios, putting Max on itself, without all the debt for it, give it a chance to grow and develop into something. Okay, let's be honest here. This is just good business. Now, just businesses, if you're a good business, you're constantly looking at all options, right? Doesn't mean you're actually going to do it. And from the sounds of these reports, I'm assuming that, Warner Bros. Discovery has hired companies out there to do research. Okay, hey, we have a lot of debt. Yes, they've been paying off the debt rapidly, but they still have a ton. How do we, address that? Well, we got some of these assets here, maybe a publishing company, maybe a couple studio-owned properties or whatever. Well, if we sell off these, we could put that money towards the debt and free up our other, more profitable ventures to be not encumbered by these other debt-ridden entities. The other one is always looking at options, right? Warner Bros. Discovery reportedly was in talks with Paramount for a potential merger. That deal fell apart. They ended up not moving in that direction, but they looked at it. And that's kind of what happens. According to reports, Warner Bros. Discovery was the one that walked away from a potential deal there. So just keep that in mind. As we hear talk of Pluto TV for sale and Warner Bros. Discovery and all these others, companies are always evaluating these kind of things, and who knows, if the deal's right, they'll probably do it. But it doesn't mean that they intend, like, oh yeah, we have to do this just because we're looking at it. All right, let's keep moving along. Tubi is adding 8 new channels from mostly A&E networks, History Channel, Lifetime, and more with this. Some of these networks include Cold 24/7 channels of Cold Case Files by A&E, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Ice Truck Truckers by History Channel, Dance Moms by Lifetime, Duck Dynasty, Crime Throws. Actually, there's 9 channels. I apologize. I'll have to fix this story. I just noticed I double listed one. World Most Evil Killers, the FBI Files, Cheaters, with that. Now, tons of content here. Now, this is just the live channels. They also announced a ton of on-demand content. If you want to find that full list, check out the story in the show notes. I have the full list there. Have you been thinking about getting Peacock for the Olympics coming up? Well, you're going to pay a little bit more today. Peacock price on new subscribers went up yesterday, $2 to $7.99 a month for that. And then, let me go back to that. I accidentally scrolled past it. And you'll be seeing a price hike on the Peacock Premium ad-free version, also $2. New subscribers today Now, current subscribers will see their bill go up on the next bill after August 17, 2024. Now, if you are, for example, an annual customer and you are not billed until December or January, your price won't change until that next bill. If you're unlucky and your bill renews August 19th, for example, you're going to see a price hike on that day. Again, though, if you know you have a service that you're always going to have, you want it all year long for whatever reason, those yearly plans may be something that you want to look at because the deal is really good on them. All right, speaking of more free ad-supported channels, Sling Freestream, Sling TV's free ad-supported streaming service, has added 5 more. A few of them include DraftKings Networks, Modern Innovations by the History Channel, Real Crime, Uncensored, and more. Check that out, link in the show notes for more. All right, NBA is in talks for a new TV contract. Reportedly, it'll be split between ABC or Disney, NBC, and Amazon, if I remember the numbers correct. Well, TNT currently is left out, but they have a clause in their contract where they can try to match an offer. Reportedly, they are looking at trying to match the Amazon offer to keep some TNT games to go there instead of having them air on Amazon. Now, we'll have to see if that actually becomes a reality. There's all kinds of things going in here past just the price. There'll probably have to be a better deal because NBA is not just looking at this as TV broadcast, but how do they reach a new generation of audiences? And one of the things they're thinking about is how, if we put this on Amazon, will it attract new potential fans that will help us grow our audience? We'll keep a close eye on this, but TNT and Warner Bros. Discovery far from out of the deal with NBA. We'll be interested to see if they pull off a last-second Hail Mary. I know the wrong sport here, but you get the idea. Full court shot. Maybe there's a better term, to get a deal here. I have a feeling that this deal is pretty far gone. They may be trying, but money speaks. Would Warner Bros. Discovery pay a big premium on top of Amazon's price? We'll wait and see. All right, let's dive into a question of the day. Today's question, and if you have a question for me you ever want me to answer, leave a comment. Please start it with something like a question for Luke, so I know it's something that you want me to answer here in the show. Some will be answered in the comments because sometimes they're just easy, better to be answered there than here. Sometimes I answer them here. But leave a comment on any video. If I don't answer it, please re-ask it. All right. Today's question is, what is happening with all the local news apps from local television stations that have shut down recently? Why is that happening? So a few years ago, it was a big thing. Every local TV station had to have an app on Fire TV, Roku, Amazon, whatever. What happened here is the rise of big network apps. So you see a variety. NewsOn was one of the big early ones where it was a single app you went into and got tons of news. Haystack News is another. Zim, or there's another one that starts with a Z, I'm blanking on the name on, that recently launched or relaunched with a new name. And there's some others. Fox has, for some of its Fox-owned stations, has an app that does the same thing. It takes a bunch of local television stations, puts all their news there, uses your IP to track down where you are and display local news. But the nice thing about it, for example, if there's a hurricane in Texas or Florida or something, you can check out local news from that area to see what's happening down there from local news. A few reasons this is happening. For one, they believe that this will drive better ad deals because if you strike a deal to appear on all these news stations rather than just one app, it helps. Two, even if your local TV station is not broadcasting, somebody's broadcasting, may increase revenue. Lastly, it's a lot cheaper. If I'm maintaining if I own 30 television stations, I have 30 apps. That's a lot of maintenance. If there's an update, if Roku changes something, I need to go update my app to meet the new standards, for example, I have to update 30 apps. If they're all in one app, I only have to update one app. And that's why I think we're seeing a lot, not all, but a lot of these news stations shut down their apps, save some money, and strike deals either with something like a NewsOn with a third party or create their own group like Fox did for its Fox-owned Fox stations. Put all of its news programs on a single app. Well, that's it for today. I hope that answers your question. Again, if you have a question for me, leave me a comment. Let me know. Start off with something like a question for Luke. I'd love to hear from you. All right, that's it. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm posting this on Friday. I hope you all have a fantastic, safe, fun July day. I'll be back on Monday with another video. As always, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.